Hey, welcome back to another Foxy Games UK news video. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification, you know what to do by now. So yeah, game news today. To the background of the Crew Motorfest. Some of you asked in previous videos when I used this game, what was the game, because I didn't name it. So it is the Crew Motorfest, the nearest to the Forza Horizon series that PS5 users will get, at least until the rumored Motorstorm revival game is officially announced by Sony, or if Microsoft release the currently in development Forza Horizon 6 on a PlayStation console. Ironically, the latter is not as far-fetched as you may think. So yeah, in our first news story, courtesy of Eurogamer.net, it may just be a dream come true to Half-Life fans, as Valve could be working on a new project with a codename fans are linking to Half-Life. Half-Life fans, rumors of Half-Life 3 have been resurrected once again, this time originating from the unassuming resume of a voice actor. There's a chance by the time you read this, Natasha Chandler's website has already been revised or taken down, but as of now, well, at least at the time of recording this video, you can scroll down to voiceover section. You may see the reference Project White Sands video game. Now, Chandel did not name the character that she provided voice work for, but the project is clearly marked as belonging to Valve. Now, obviously, we haven't had a flat, say, 2D Half-Life game when you compare it to Half-Life Alyx on the VR headset, something that PlayStation VR 2 fans are eagerly awaiting too. Will it ever come? We just don't know at this point. But as noted by members of the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, White Sands is much more likely to pertain to Half-Life 3 than, say, Left 4 Dead 3. Not least because White Sands is a park in New Mexico, state where it was Black Mesa. So there are the kinds of leaks that are always fun, a legitimate first-hand source that isn't filtered through some influencer trying to, vague post for engagement, said one commenter, just a voice actor who probably has never heard of Steam, nonchalantly mentioning they did work on Half-Life 3. F it, I'm putting my clown makeup back on, declared another, and if this is all-out proof, well, no, but sorry, at the very least, it's proof Valve is possibly developing another game in addition to Deadlock. If it's not Half-Life related, this is an extraordinarily cruel codename to use. And court documents recently revealed detailed employment statistics for Valve, the company behind the ubiquitous PC storefront Steam, the Steam Deck handheld, and yes, still a team dedicated to game development. Altogether, that's just 371 people employed by Valve in 2021 for a company believed to bring in around $6.5 billion a year. EA, home to FIFA or FC or Battlefield, or take your pick. EA is quite a big company, a lot of IPs on its roster. Also generates around $6.5 billion annually, but has 13,700 staff on the payroll this year. So yeah, is it Half-Life 3? Is it worth getting your hopes up? Would you want a Half-Life 3? And if it is, will it only be on PC? Let's hope if it is Half-Life 3, it's a multi-platform release, because hey, I think we could all do with some Half-Life in our lives. Go ahead, sound off in the comments. And our next news story, courtesy of InsiderGaming.com, Phantom Blade Zero developer has said, and this is quite controversial, nobody needs Xbox when referring to will Phantom Blade Zero ever appear on the Xbox consoles. So yeah, this was updated on the 4th, and I've got a bit of a disclaimer at the end for you as well, but S-Game, that's a developer of Phantom Blade Zero, had issued a statement responding to the quote, saying recently we noticed that some media outlets have claimed to have interviewed an unnamed developer from S-Game at China Joy, who seems to have made some statements regarding the release, platforms and strategy for Phantom Blade Zero. We want to clarify that these claimed statements do not represent S-Game's values or culture, as we believe in making our game accessible to everyone and have not ruled out any platforms for Phantom Blade Zero. We are hard at work on both the development and publishing fronts to ensure that as many players as possible can enjoy our game and release in the future. Our team is looking forward to sharing more development updates soon, and we are excited to bring out world premiere demo to Gamescom this month. Yeah, so the original report continues that in a recent report published by Brazilian outlets attending China Joy 2024, where Sony PlayStation had quite a presence, it was claimed that a Phantom Blade Zero developer had some harsh words for the Xbox ecosystem. It was explained by the developer of both Black Myth Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero, that is, that they don't have exclusivity agreements in place with Sony. They just don't see the need to bring their games to Xbox, which, yeah, is a bit harsh, right? But then when you dig a bit deeper, you may get some understanding why they don't want to, because, yeah, Xbox Series S is a pain, and yeah, it diminishes the quality of games. It's sort of a mid-step from the last gen to this current gen. And I think the only next gen features are the SSD, really, isn't it? SSD, let's be honest, what else does it do? That's next gen. Sometimes it falls behind even the Xbox One X, a console that released in 2017. Yeah, that does higher resolutions and has far more RAM available to it than the Xbox Series S. So it has been known to be a pain to developers to have to develop, for both Xbox Series X and S. But yeah, per the post on the Brazilian outlet, when S-Game developer was questioned on the platform distribution of Phantom Blade Zero at China Joy, part of their response was quite scolding, stating, "Nobody needs this platform." Wow, so yeah, the anonymous developer was talking about Xbox, of course. Reportedly, they went on to say that the console platform just isn't popular in Asia, which is true, and that Microsoft has made it tough to develop games for both Xbox Series X and S by creating a very overloaded ecosystem. Black Myth Wukong is also been released on August 20th for PlayStation 5 and PC, while Phantom Blade Zero is assuming to be dropping in 2026. It's some ways off. Now here's the thing with the Black Myth Wukong. It is slated for Xbox Series consoles as well, but has been delayed, and my belief is it's been delayed because of the Xbox Series S, because Xbox Series X, as far as capability, is a damn fine console. I own one, so it has to be the Series S, which is holding like the bottleneck of the development process or pipeline. So yeah, S-Game, Game Science were both at China Joy 2024, and the Brazilian article makes it clear from the developers that while both games aren't being released on Xbox, or rather at their specific release dates, because I do know Black Myth Wukong will eventually come to Xbox, it isn't because they have secured an exclusivity deal with Sony. Far from it. They just don't feel that anyone needs the Xbox platform, which is a pretty inflammatory thing to say. However, it's no big secret that Microsoft hardware sales are, flailing, and the team looks intent on relying on streaming and cloud-based solutions going forward. So who knows, perhaps even Xbox doesn't need Xbox. And that's according to InsiderGaming.com. This is quite a contentious one, isn't it? Sound off in the comments, share your opinion on that. And in our next news story, there's a big rumor knocking about on social media platforms such as X that Sony Santa Monica, a Sony Interactive Entertainment first-party studio, most notably responsible for the God of War series, that's God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. Well, the rumor is that Sony Santa Monica Studios' new game will be a major, big surprise, not what you're expecting. Reset Era insider Ash Hong stated, "I can't wait for Santa Monica to announce their game. I really don't know how people will react." Well, this could either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. It could end up being some little indie title just to satiate, Santa Monica fans until the big boys come out. But or it could be something totally left field, out of the realms of God of War. It could be that rumored space RPG space action adventure game that's been tied to both Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica. Really, it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything, which led me to do some digging on an older article from gamerrant.com, which really was published back in September 2023, so not, less than a year ago. Sony Santa Monica's unannounced title is a third-person action game like God of War, but perhaps not God of War. Santa Monica Studio is hiring for a new unspecified project, leading fans to speculate that it could be another installment of the God of War series, but we know by the rumored tweet, if it is indeed legitimate, that this is probably not God of War. So a recent job listing indicates that the studio is looking for a senior encounter designer with experience in third-person action games. While it's unclear if the new game will indeed be a God of War title, which it probably isn't, judging by the rumor, the job requirements suggest that it will follow the same third-person action style of Santa Monica Studios' renowned series, with fans eagerly awaiting more information. So it sounds like this individual knows what the game is on Reset Terror, the one that has leaked, that it possibly isn't God of War. They obviously know, or they could be BSing us. Who knows these days? Everybody's an insider. Everyone's aunt and uncle is, an insider, a journalist, whatever. But Sony Santa Monica's next major game is definitely a third-person action title in the styling of God of War, which just means that viewpoint is like God of War, but it could be set in a completely different universe, totally different game. Not too long after God of War Ragnarok launched on the PlayStation, they actually went on to start developing this game. It could have been in development simultaneously towards the end of the God of War Ragnarok game, but Sony Santa Monica was already hiring staff for a new, currently unannounced project. That we do know. Naturally, fans are theorizing that this new game is another chapter in the long-running God of War series, but I'm having my doubts if there's if this rumor holds water. I'm having my doubts. So yeah, what do you think it is? What do you think this is? Could it be a sci-fi action game? Could it be medieval? Could it be a game, high fantasy type game? I mean, how many genres are actually left? I'm hoping they're doing something totally different from God of War, because I'd like to see, them stretch the imagination, do something different, show their versatility in this realm. Everyone knows Sony Santa Monica are expert Sony, top-notch Sony developers, so we'll have to see where it goes. But yeah, sound off in the comments, let me know what you think about this one. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave this final news story on a bit of a bum note, a bit of a Debbie Downer. Courtesy of PlayStationUniverse.com, GameStop has shut down Game Informer, ending the magazine's 33-year run. And this is a US magazine that was also on sale in the UK, because I remember buying it in the 90s. A very good magazine as well. It gave you an insight into a lot of the games that were released in the US before it came to Europe, because Japan and US back in the 90s, early 2K were the priority, with Europe somehow getting things like a year later. But yeah, GameStop shut down Game Informer, the longest running game magazine in the US that had been going 33 years. The company cruelly and unceremoniously reported reportedly told staff that they would all be let go early on Friday morning, and that they would receive severance packages. So there you have it. According to the report from Kotaku on the closure, the news came while at least one staff member was away on a work trip while this was happening, and another former staff member on Twitter confirmed that the announcement of the closure was posted to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, without any of the editorial staff's knowledge and before everyone had been informed as to what's going on. And the ironic thing is, it's called Game Informer, but few were informed. Here's a quote: "After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may you and your own gaming adventures never end. So Game Informer began its journey that would wind up helping really to define coverage of video games for years to come, all the way back in 1991. Then in 2000, it was purchased by GameStop, a company that has been running itself into the ground for years. Having had a bad parent company, however, didn't stop Game Informer from continuing to publish some of the best games coverage in the history of covering games. It continued to publish a physical magazine alongside a website for far longer than most places that solely covered video games had ever done before. So to see it shut down is a huge loss for the games media and gamers, really a sad day for the games industry at large. GameStop has yet to publish any further statement on the closure beyond what was published to the Game Informer X account, though it's important to note that this closure comes in the same week that GameStop's chief executive officer Ryan Cohen is faced with a lawsuit to the tune of $47 million for insider trading. Ooh, naughty Ryan. So there you have it. Long-running Game Informer gone. Not to be confused with GamesIndustry.biz, because when I first saw this, I thought, oh, Christopher Dring is out of a job. But no, they're not tied. It was just me and my hastening to see it all unfolding before my eyes. So yeah, this is a sad day indeed. GameStop closing Game Informer. But when you have a big company like GameStop buying these, more independent, once independent magazines like Game Informer, eventually things will go wrong because, when they're going to shed the fat, you know what they're going to do, don't you? Close print media. But why would they even close the website? I mean, how many people did they need to keep that going? Anyway, sad to see, but that is the news today. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification, and I'll see you again on the other side. And always remember, play games, not corporations.